there, and welcome to the Sohria Alexander Show. How are you doing tonight, TV land? Where are you? Liberty TV Flow 119, I bid you a good evening. And welcome to all my listeners on Liberty 92.3 FM. How was your day? Welcome, welcome. Tell your friends. So is on. And all my social media friends, how are you doing? Facebook land and YouTube land, and also on the apps, I bid you a wonderful good evening. How are you, my sweet people? What has been going on with you? I know, all of us are complaining tonight. We're going to chat, we're going to rap. I know all of us have been complaining about the high food prices, and people, listen, we are suffering. We all are suffering, and we need to do something about it. We all are suffering. And it is something that is new to all of us. It is something that has backed all of us in a corner. Imagine people are crying. People are feeling the pain. People are saying that they are able to pay their little bills, but they cannot eat. And the reason why they cannot eat, it is because of the high grocery prices. Now, please do not say to me, so the prices are high everywhere in the world. We know that, but we have to deal with our circumstances in St. Lucia. We live in St. Lucia. We do not live in the developed countries. We live in St. Lucia, and we all are feeling the pains. My Lord and my God, when you hear people say to you that they want 4 pounds of sugar, my Lord, let me tell you something, and I think the government of St. Lucia, your hands are tied, but you need to untie them. Because I really don't know how people will continue to live. When I hear people saying that they want to purchase 4 pounds of sugar, but they cannot purchase 4 pounds of sugar, they have to purchase 2. And as I have always said to you, TV land, you're new, so you'll get to know me. As I've always said to you people, how are we going to survive with those high prices? Because in 2019, things was not so bad. And I'm telling you, it is the way of the world. It is the way of the business world. They care about their bottom line. They do not care about us poor people. They do not care about us. It is always about their bottom line. Because I am trying to understand, how are we to survive? Now listen, they are all blaming the high food prices, gas prices, on COVID. COVID is a name. COVID was a pandemic. But right now, if man wanted to reduce on those prices, they can. They control the world. They control the federal banks. If they wanted to reduce those prices, they could. But it's going to end up to the point where many people right here in St. Lucia are going to die. And I'm speaking reality to you. Many people in St. Lucia are going to die. Now, we are only adults. Philip J. Pierre exports is less, in fact, than his imports. His imports are higher than his exports. And that affects our gross domestic product. His exports are less than his imports. We import so much, our food bill is very high. No fault of his, because the dragons out there are the ones controlling the prices, the food prices, the gas prices. They are the ones controlling it. What can we do? The only thing I'm going to see going to happen in this country, a lot of people are going to die from hunger. The Great Reset has happened, and it's going to remain there. The world is overpopulated. So many people, not only in St. Lucia, but throughout the world, will die of hunger. And this is serious. We are living in dread times, because as I've said, if they wanted to reduce on the food prices, the oil and gas prices, they can, and bring it back to the level of 2019. But the people only care with their bottom line. When we have to struggle to go to the supermarket, people are crying. Because I am talking for myself and many others. When we used to go to the supermarket in 2019, you'd walk away with bags. Now you spend $500 and you walk away with 3 bags, nothing, 3-4 bags. And we in St. Lucia know we have to shift the focus. The authorities have to shift the focus towards health and safety of the people of St. Lucia. We are plagued with diabetes and hypertension. We are plagued with these chronic diseases. But hear this, fast food is expensive, and eating healthy is expensive. Before, you would be able to go to the supermarket and buy a pound of bags, a little handful of carrots, some potatoes, Irish potatoes, and maybe some cabbage with green fig, and you could have a decent meal. Right now, if you have to buy a pound of bags, you must be a bourgeois. If you have to buy saltfish, you have to call saltfish Mr. Saltfish. People are crying. People are yearning. Now, what are we going to do? What are we going to do, really? What are we going to do? Because economically, it's hard in St. Lucia. It's a fact. It is hard in St. Lucia. Many businesses are crying out. And we have to face reality. Our country, we do not have oil, bauxite. We have none of those things. We only have sun, sand, and sea. We sell our product, which is tourism, right? An intangible product. We do not have the tangible resources of oil, bauxite, gold, or whatever. We do not have that. And what irks me is that things are so dread that people are working for peanuts. When we hear of companies right here in St. Lucia making billions of dollars in profits, and staff are saying that they cannot even take care of themselves, it is just mind-boggling. And I've said that in a couple of my shows, and saying that if you have an employee and you're making all that money, if you treat your employees properly, give them a decent salary wage, your blessings will be tripled. Homelessness, and the thing about it, my sweet people, do not worry with the people you see dressed nicely, going to work every day and coming into their homes. Sometimes these people are the middle class poor now. They are the middle class poor. People are suffering silently. And this is why I keep saying that we have 17 parliamentarians and their focus should be community, community, community. Do not worry if you see somebody living in a big mansion. They too may be suffering, because let me tell you, there is a new happening that has been there for a while. There is a new happening. And it is the middle class poor. People would suffer. And I heard a minister of government said that people who would never come to his office to ask him for assistance are now coming to him for assistance because these people could have taken care of themselves. It is hard. And St. Lucia is only a dot. You think the government of St. Lucia have powers to change anything? No, they do not have powers to change anything. They jump to the tune of the bigger countries, the movers and the shakers. We are practically nothing. And I'm going to later in the show show you how people are suffering. Imagine people cannot even buy a bottle of oil to fry baked chicken or do something. Small businesses are suffering. What are we going to do, people? This is the reality. And as I was saying before, with the hypertension and the diabetes, we need to eat leafy, healthy. How are we doing that? People cannot even survive anymore. This is reality. And with this, I am going to take my first commercial break.
Catch the Sohria Alexander Show on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. right here on 92.3 Liberty FM. This show will revolutionize your mind. Your host, Soso, awaits you. See you there.
Business owners, are you looking for affordable advertising options? Yes, you see, the Sohria Alexander Show has got you covered. Maximize your brand's reach with our affordable advertising rates and reach a wide audience of engaged listeners. Your ad could be featured on our popular show. And we also offer audio and digital TV ad creations, yes, you see? Don't miss the opportunity. Call us now at 758-715-9458 or email us at thesohriaalexandershow@gmail.com to secure your advertising spot, yes? Big or small business, there is something for you. Ho, 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 ho.
Now we are back, and remember, we offer many services. You can visit my website, right? And you can see the services we're offering. You can visit my website and you will get in contact with us. You can fill out the form, or if you don't want to fill up the form, you can always give us a call. Give us a call on 715-9458. We do advertising. If you want to advertise with the Sohria Alexander Show, please contact us and we will do that for you. Support the show. And also, my people, those on television who is new to the show, you can support the show by becoming a member of my Buy Me a Coffee, which means that you support the work I do. And you can become a member, a monthly contributor, or you can buy coffees. Now, it is so easy. You don't have to leave the show to go look for my link. On the screen, you would see my scan code. You take your phone camera, you scan it, and poof, it's going to tell you, open your browser and you go to my Buy Me a Coffee platform where you can support this show. So my TV audience, you know, I have thought of you. My producer has thought of you and decided to put the scan. So while you're watching Soso, you can just put your phone to the screen, put your camera on, poop, open browser, and you can go ahead and purchase coffees, or you can become a member. You also watch me on YouTube, Facebook. It's an option for you to do. And those watching me on, well, listening to me on radio, don't feel left out. You can always go to my page, Sohria Alexander, send me a message, or you would be able to see the link, or call me on 715-9458. And as I said, people, excuse me, this top tier show you're seeing is produced by an 18-year-old. He actually started when he was 17 years. We started small and then he grew the show. All right, so my producer is very, very good, and this is what we're here for, to educate you, to laugh, to have fun. It's a different show. It's not a political show. It will never be a political show. We're here to have fun with you, my sweet people. So, people, as I was saying to you, it is very sad. It is very sad that a lot of people are working. When people are working and they cannot eat. And as I've said to you, it is not the government. The government hands are really tied. Because when you look at it from a holistic point of view, the government is only getting the reaction from the bigger countries. They control nothing. When they ask us to jump, we have to jump. And we have to ask them how high. And if you have realized, Taiwan have been supporting us, but the country needs more than Taiwan. We need a lot of assistance. And I think the focus should be tilted towards helping the people of St. Lucia. Now, I am going to show you a video. Inflation, high food prices threaten St. Lucia's poorest people.
Meanwhile, nutrition experts say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But for St. Lucia's poorest and even low-income earners, breakfast is simply out of their reach. The inflation crisis threatens the quantity of monetary and food donations provided to local charities to help keep the island's needy population clothed and fed. Despite the challenges, one man has devoted his mornings handing out hot tea and bread to whomever's hungry.
The Bible says Jesus Christ fed thousands with a few loaves and some fish. St. Lucia's Gaspar Henry, far from a deity, wants to feed as many hungry mouths as he can. With a bucket of hot tea and loaves of bread lined up the middle with peanut butter, Gaspar Henry, 3 times a week, can be found in Constitution Park, handing out breakfast to the homeless, rough sleepers, and just about anyone who's hungry.
So how long have you been doing this from this location?
You mean the breakfast?
Yeah.
Well, from this year, from this year, because we used to be doing the brunch from around 10 o'clock. But what happened is that you find early morning, they don't really have anything to put on their stomach. And from time I've been doing the breakfast, it has been very successful because that's the first thing they get in for the day.
The pandemic made it harder for low-income and poor households to buy food. The impact was more severe on the island's homeless and indigent populations. The Central Statistics Office says more than 49% of St. Lucia's poor ran out of food because they simply didn't have the money. James Gilliard says he's homeless.
How were you getting breakfast before Mr. Henry started serving you?
Well, not all the time. Sometimes I wake up and nothing to eat. And sometimes when Gaspar comes, it does be like a godsend. Yeah, because there's days and nothing, So I really appreciate it, and he's doing a good job.
A self-employed Kennedy George says he sometimes depends on Gaspar Henry's breakfast program.
Because what Mr. Gaspar doing there is a real good thing, but sometimes it's not I don't really do it all the time, Sometimes I do it if I down and out, like right now this morning.
So are you employed?
I'm self-employed.
Self-employed,
yeah.
Self-employed. So when your funds are running low,
yeah, when the funds running low, I see good people like Mr. Gaspar around the place, trying to help out those less fortunate to have some things.
The cost of living has shot up. Everything from electricity costs and petrol prices to eggs and canned foods has risen in recent weeks. The experts blame inflation and Russia's war in Ukraine for the price jump. For local charities, including Gaspar Henry's Feed the Poor ministry, donations and support could shrink as a direct consequence.
When price of fuel go up, everything going up, the price of the food items at times double and triple. And at times you have the money. At times you have the money and you can't even get the items.
has that affected the kind of support
do you offer?
Yeah, but people have less money, and at times many persons go to the same set of people for sponsors and support, you know. So it makes the contribution a little smaller, you know.
So your donors, your supporters, right now are providing you less.
Yes, in some instances.
Corporate St. Lucia and private donors intermittently lend assistance to Gaspar Henry's charity work. In March, the PA administration pledged $20,000 to support Feed the Poor ministry.
And to Feed the Poor ministry, $20,000.
The Prime Minister indicated that he would have been giving a donation to Feed the Poor, $20,000.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, I think it's a step in the right direction. And as my mother would say, little is much when God is in it. But if you dissect $20,000, that is $1,600 a month. In terms of a year, that is $400 a week. That is roughly $135 a day. The evidence is right before your eyes.
So that $20,000, do you think it can sustain your morning breakfast?
Well, as I tell you earlier on, little is much when God is in it.
Within minutes of setting up at Constitution Park, Gaspar Henry gave away all the tea and peanut butter loaves to needy city dwellers. He says his wife plays a pivotal role in his humanitarian efforts, cooking and packaging the meals in their new village home. Help also comes from associates who sometimes provide transportation to distribution points in the capital. On the day MBC Prime visited Gaspar Henry at Constitution Park, he didn't have a ride back home. With the help of one of the beneficiaries of his breakfast program, we watched him transport his equipment the old-fashioned way, on his head. What are you doing with this stuff on your head?
Well, I'm going back home, carrying it. A fella was carrying it for $5. He stopped carrying it, and he asked me for $1 now. After he get breakfast, he was getting $5 to carry the table. So that is the reason why I was saying earlier on, I need transportation. So you thought I was trying something when I said so?
So you're going to walk with this?
So I walking back home with that.
Rihani Isidore, NBC Prime.
Now, my people, this is so interesting. We all know Gaspar Henry. I know Gaspar Henry personally. And God will bless Gaspar for being so resilient in the face where his sponsorship monies went down. And to leave your home in your small kitchen and for you to be making breakfast for how many people? And you know, I listened to what Gaspar said. He said like some people, he was doing the lunch, but when he realized some people had nothing on their stomach for breakfast. And it is very important. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day because I am a breakfast person. I love breakfast. I am a breakfast person. And you know, when people are saying that oils and all those things are so expensive and they cannot, eggs, you know, even bread went up. Now, Gaspar said that the government gave him $20,000, right, for him to assist with the, his program, his Feed the Ministry program. However, I believe the government can take it further. We need a place in every community where people can go and have a breakfast, have something to eat, have lunch, have dinner. Let us invest our money there because let me tell you, the poverty is not only going to affect just people, it is going to affect the students going to school. School is opening in September. It is going to affect the students going back to school who do not have lunch, breakfast, dinner. They have nothing. What are we doing as a government, as a people to assist? I believe the government, listen, you are now in post-COVID times and it cannot be what was happening before. The focus have to be shifted to ensure that our people can be resilient and able to survive and live. I cannot imagine the pain some parents now face because they have to source funds for their child to go to school. Yes, they get a little bursary of $500, but really this is just a drop in the bucket. The whole thinking, the whole mentality of governance has to change. It now has to be people-centric. It has to be focused on people. In the absence of that, we are going to be spinning top in mud. It has to be people-centric. If it is not people-centric, then we are losing. And imagine a mother or father, parents cannot take care of their children because things are so expensive. Our students, our children should be able to have a cushion, which is the school where they can go and get something to eat. As I said, the focus has to be changed. I know everybody wants roads, people want hospitals, people want airports, people want bridges. Why have all those things? And the people we need to be there to enjoy those things and contribute to our economic growth would be 6 feet deep because they are unable to maintain and take care of themselves. I am speaking reality to you. And this is where we should have somebody like Gasper in every community in charge of feeding the poor. And we cannot even call it feeding the poor because, as I said to you earlier on, there are people working, middle-class people working, and they can't have 3 meals a day. I am speaking facts. I'm speaking reality to you. So it has to be a mindset shift that the government must do. It must be a mindset shift that the government has to do in order for us to survive. And if you hear the grumbles of people, they do not care with the big projects. They care with the fact that they are not feeling the benefits in their pockets and they can't put food on their table. It is hard. It is rough. Let us not pretend. Excuse me. Let us not pretend. It is very hard. It is very rough for everybody. Nobody can laugh at anybody because our spending power has been diminished because of inflation, the high food prices. What are we going to do, people? We all have to come together. This is not a time where we fight. We all have to come together and bind together. And with this, I am going to take my second commercial break.
Catch the Sohria Alexander Show on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. right here on 92.3 Liberty FM. This show will revolutionize your mind. Your host, Soso, awaits you. See you there.
Business owners, are you looking for affordable advertising options? Yes, you see, the Sohria Alexander Show has got you covered. Maximize your brand's reach with our affordable advertising rates and reach a wide audience of engaged listeners. Your ad could be featured on our popular show. And we also offer audio and digital TV ad creations, yes, you see? Don't miss the opportunity. Call us now at 758-715-9458 or email us at thesohriaalexandershow@gmail.com to secure your advertising spot, yes? Big or small business, there is something for you. Ho, 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 ho.
And we are back. And as I was saying, high food prices causes many people to stay without. And if many people are staying without because they cannot buy food, can you imagine how many people cannot buy their medication? It is really a time where we all must come together, reflect together, and work together, because let me tell you, there is not one solution, only one solution to this problem. This is where community spirit comes in. for us to come together. Because if we have to say we're going to wait on the government to do X, Y, and Z, many of us are going to die. So this is why we have to come together, bind together, help each other, assist each other. Those who can assist each other, because the Bible says the more you give with a cheerful heart, the more you're going to receive. So if you can help somebody. There's a lot of hunger going on. There is a lot of hunger going on. And I'm going to show you that video where people are saying prices are so high that they cannot afford to buy everything they need.
St. Lucians, like the rest of the world, are paying more for less due to inflation rates compounded further by volatility on the global oil market. The cost of goods has shot up exponentially in recent months. For middle to low income and poor households, food rationing and budget cuts are the only options to get by financially. Increasing prices plus stagnant salaries equals losses for St. Lucia's working class. Today, grocery lists are getting shorter. What are you sacrificing, or how are you adjusting to the higher prices?
Oh boy, that's a tough question, because I work as a security guard, as an armed guard, and when I noticed that and the salary have not increased, oh boy, it's a tough one, boys.
So what kind of items are you leaving off, or you taking off your grocery list?
Eggs. I stopped buying eggs. I stopped buying milk that I used to buy, and buy kind of like what I can afford and eat now,
I'm buying less.
What are you taking out from the grocery list?
Things are so much expensive. If I have to buy 4 pounds sugar, I buy 2 pounds. If I have to buy chicken, I buy less because it's expensive, and I having a budget for it.
Okay.
So expensive.
In time past when I knew it, going to the supermarket would have come out with a good bit of groceries. But right now, you have a little handle bag, and it will cost you more than what you used to buy before. So at this moment, I can say things get more expensive, and in time to come, I believe we won't be able to buy anything.
What are you?
Best that we grow our own and eat what we grow.
Motorists are also feeling the pinch. Retail petrol prices are at its highest rates since 2015. Fueling up at the pump costs $15.95 per gallon. The cost of cooking gas is also up by more than $4 for both the 20-pound and 22-pound cylinders. Households and businesses also have to contend with higher electricity rates, which took effect in March. And consumer prices could escalate further in the coming months, according to financial experts. Families could be in for a rough financial patch in the near term. The inflation crisis has already blunted spending.
You live in some of the items that are a bit more expensive, and those that sometimes, for example, you wanted to buy oil, but these days oil is from $15 to $20 something. So you probably may have to do that. Some people starting to look for coconuts and make their own coconut oil and so on. So these are the things that really going on. People will mostly buy rice, and flour, but the other items that are a bit more important for your health, the more expensive, then you'll have to forget them.
So many times I have to leave couple things behind because I didn't work with all that money. I cater for 150 is 150, but that's what I want. But trust me, everything just goes sky high.
What kind of items you're not buying anymore right now?
Well, when I say especially the oil, you find a bottle of oil almost like $13, $14 now. Some people on a Saturday passing it fit for $10. But the supermarket, $13, $14. All right, that's one. The packet of coffee they have, that's down in countryside you'll get that for $5. In the mall like $7.80. You understand? That's 2 items. Things like lunch and meat, I just telling you, all that go up. Lunch and meat I get it for something, but in the mall I get it for 6 something. You understand? So a lot of the item, you have to leave a lot back.
Meanwhile, Public transport commuters are awaiting word from the Transport Ministry on the latest round of bus fare negotiations with the National Council on Public Transportation. Reeling from high gas prices, public transport operators and bus drivers are demanding an increase in bus fares. Delayed by almost a decade, Transport Minister Stephenson King says the probability of higher bus fares being introduced is, quote, on the horizon. Rehani Isidore, NBC Prime.
And this was, he mentioned that a liter of gas is $15, but that was sometime in March. But right now it's like $17. And you know, the reality is people are feeling the pinch. And many people don't have the spending power to buy anything out. And you heard what the ordinary man said. And it's not the ordinary man who said that there are people who make a decent salary and they are considered middle class, and they too have become the middle class poor. And this gentleman was saying, you know, things that they are not buying again: eggs, milk. The lady said if she wants 4 pounds of flour, she now takes 2 pounds of flour. She said she buys less chicken. And she said just now we won't be able to buy anything, and the guys need oil, and you know, if they sell their stuff, oil is expensive. But you heard the other guy said that, you know, people are buying mostly rice and flour, and this is not very healthy. White flour is like bleached flour. This is not very healthy. Why don't we have a program, you know, where we try to feed the poor, feed the nation, where we grow vegetables for people to eat? Because let me tell you something, right? When I go to the supermarket and I look at the little pack of carrots, it's almost $6. Let us do better. And those in authority who we have placed to govern this country, do better in terms of taking care of the nation. Health is not only having a top-class hospital. Health is being able to take care of our nation with chronic diabetes and hypertension, where people are able to eat properly, healthy. Eating healthy is so expensive. It is unbelievable. Eating healthy is so expensive. What are we going to do, people? Are we just going to sit there and don't do anything? We must do something. And this is where we as citizens have to bind together. We complain about all of the foolishness, but the thing that is going to make our country great, which is the health of a nation. Health meaning not top-class hospital, but starting at the root, ensuring that we are able to eat healthy. Carrots, cabbage, cucumbers, you know, all the healthy, kale, lettuce, all the healthy stuff, they're expensive. There is something I love a lot, and I find it's, excuse me, my people, I've been talking a lot. Something I find that is very healthy and I love it is kale, and I'm not seeing kale again. I love kale. And another thing, St. Lucians, I cook like I'm a good cook. I'm a good cook. They call me the chef. I love to cook. But I do not cook with all those powdery stuff you put in your food. This is very unhealthy. I cook all natural. Now, if you want, you know, maybe a little paste or a little something different, you can use a little bit of ketchup. Ketchup has sugar, and a little mustard. You mix it. But try to use everything natural. And that's what I do. I cook everything. When I cook, all my ingredients are natural. I put nothing artificial in it. And it will save you money. People believe for food to have taste, you must go and buy all those powdery things and pour them into your food to give it taste. This has a lot of MSG. It's going to raise your blood pressure. It's going to make you unhealthy. Eat healthy. And let me tell you something, people. Let me tell you something. The best backs was, excuse me, the best backs was from my grandmother. When my grandmother stew up backs for you, When mommy used stew backs for you people, that is the best backs in the world. And she put a little plantain, she put a little green fig, and she give you that. That is so good. And I never saw my grandmother use anything artificial. When she cooked her nice red fish for her husband, everything, no artificial ingredients. Let us not be lazy. And another thing with me, people, I do not like people blend their seasonings and then they store it there, put it there. Trust me, I take the long route. I am not a lazy cook. I take the long route. While I am going to prepare something, I crush everything and I put everything fresh into my meats or whatever I'm cooking. And I allow it to stay there for a while, marinate, and then cook it. So this is one little way I'm showing you how to save monies. You don't really have to put all those powdery stuff. Garlic, onion, sweet peppers, thyme, chive, just the local things, parsley, just the local things. Chop them nicely. When you put all those local seasoning together, you're actually going to get the salt, the flavor coming out of them, and you put a little salt in it. Do not take the easy way out. The easy way out is always the long way out. Now, I have a final video that I want to show you, and I'm going to ask my producer to put it up for you to see.
52% of the Caribbean population cannot afford to buy the foods necessary to consume enough calories each day while gaining the recommended nutrition. Furthermore, the region has been found to be the most expensive for accessing a healthy diet. That's according to a UN report. Panorama 22 is a regional overview of food security and nutrition in Latin America and the Caribbean. The document analyzes the cost of healthy diets. The report also reveals that the rise in international food prices experienced since 2020 have increased the difficulties for people to access a healthy diet. This is not good news, especially for a region which is also reported to have a high incidence of non-communicable diseases. President of the St. Lucia Diabetes and Hypertension Association, Dr. Ken Mador, notes that a healthy diet together with proper exercise is key to maintaining optimal health. With healthy foods being inaccessible to such a large percentage of the general population, this places the future of a country like St. Lucia at risk.
Eradication of hunger and poverty, being the Sustainable Development Goals, is directly related to this study. So if we really want to secure a healthier future, a better workforce, we need to take this serious. And the International Diabetes Federation, has predicted by 2030, 1 in 9 persons will be affected or living with diabetes.
The report presented a clear relationship between the inability to afford a healthy diet and such variables as a country's income level, the incidence of poverty, and the level of inequality.
We really need to take a sit back and assess ourselves. So figure out, how did we get to this point? What is really our shortcomings? What is our strengths? What are our weaknesses? Identify, opportunities and threats that exist for us to move forward. So I would say if we could just first gather the data to figure out what's going on, what's wrong, why is it that the food is limited or inaccessible by some due to finances, and let's see how we can fix that.
The Food and Agriculture Organization has said that no individual policy can solve this problem independently, and that national and regional coordination mechanisms need to be strengthened to respond to the situation. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
And what he said is very true. Collaboration. No one country, especially the small Caribbean, OECS, CARICOM countries, they need to come together to solve this problem. It cannot just be St. Lucia doing their own thing, because it's been everyone in every Caribbean country, CARICOM country, OECS country, they are feeling the pinch, they're feeling the burn, and especially St. Lucia is rated the country with the highest diabetes and hypertension. We tell people to put sneakers to walk and to run. If you have no strength, if you have no food to eat, if you have no breakfast to eat, no lunch, no dinner. How are you going to run? How are you going to exercise? How are you going to put a Snickers on to run? You need the energy to burn, so you have no energy to burn. Where are you going? You're going to just lay there and die. This is a serious issue. Food security is a very serious issue. And when you tell me most St. Lucians are just boiling a pan of rice and some bags to eat, where is the nutrition? Where is the nutrition in this? We have to account for our people. These are the conversations I need the authorities to have. I should be hearing in my head every day, food, food, food. Every day we enter the supermarket as shoppers, we see the high prices there. What are we supposed to do? And you heard the gentleman, if you budget for $150, that's what he budgeted for. He have to leave things back. I have seen people in the supermarket. Buying stuff and they have to leave it back. I remember once I went to the supermarket and I saw this old lady, she was shopping, and the thing she left back was soap and some other stuff. My God, you need to wash your clothes. You need the other stuff you left there. So she's telling the cashier she doesn't have money to pay it, so she have to put it back. So I tell her put it in, and I paid her groceries for her. Bless the elderly. When you bless the elderly, let me tell you, you are going to get your blessings tenfold. And all I wanted from her, she didn't have anything to give me, but the blessing she gave me, and she touched me and she said, Ishmael, God will benny you, God will bless you. Oh, my Ishmael, just the Ishmael alone put goosebumps all over myself. Oh, Ishmael, God, I tell her no, tell her go ahead, it's okay. Because you never know, tomorrow I may need somebody to help me. You never know what situation you may fall in. I may need somebody assistance. You may be on top today, and tomorrow you will be flat down, plata-te, in the bottom. We have to be very careful, people. Right now, all of us have to bind with each other. All of us have to be here with each other and try to do the best that we can. It is important. It is very important. It is imperative that we put ourselves together, be together as one. And what can you do? What can you do as a person? And I've watched many videos from overseas where people would say it would be like how they have a name, a social experiment. And they would go out and say to people, in their raggedy clothes, they dress raggedy, and they say to people, okay, can you buy me something to eat? I'm hungry. And people would say no. Many people would say no. And then finally somebody would say, yes, what do you need? And most times, the people who help them in that social experiment are people themselves who are needy and don't have much. And those who are loaded with much didn't help. And I saw this guy, social experiment again, pretending that he was poor, went to so many people for $1 to take the bus, and they said no. He just started talking to a homeless man, and he said to the homeless man, well, I need to take the bus, I'm missing $1. So the homeless man said to him, I'm just standing out there waiting for people, to give me stuff. They do, but today, it's not anything much I get, but here is the $1. Here is the $1 to take your bus. And you know what happened? It was a social experiment. And this homeless man was rewarded $500. And this guy, because this is what he does, he also raised some campaign. And he has done it for many people, for this homeless man to get a place to live and to get started. It is always those with nothing. They are always the ones helping, and it is a fact. It is a fact. This is not a made-up story. Sometimes you may well need the $5. You may well need the $10, but you decide to help somebody. And I always believe in, when you do good, you are going to get everything double fold. Because God knows, and you knew that you needed that $10, but you helped somebody, or you needed that $1 for bus and you helped somebody. Do good and don't look back to say, oh, I need something, or this person didn't give me. Remember, the people that you would help, would not be the people that would bless you. Your blessings will come from somewhere else. Your blessing will not come from the same people you bless. We are living in very, very hard times. And I'll be honest with you, for all my life living on this earth, for my 53 years living on this earth, we have never seen such economic depression in a country. Everybody is complaining. It is hard. And sometimes it's very easy when you have money and to just dismiss people. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Things like that. Because you have it. But somebody, your neighbor, somebody is suffering. Even somebody going to work. People tell me they're working. We all are working. People are working, and things are hard. Things are very hard. So food security is so important. People, imagine my son loves soursop. and I went to the supermarket, and a little soursop is $8. I'm like, hello, kumbaya, $8? I said, no, put it back. I said to my son, your aunt has a soursop tree. Please visit her for soursop, because she had given you soursop the last time. Please visit her so you can get some soursop. It is crucial. And let me tell you how it is so crucial. My sweet people, hope you're enjoying the show. Let me explain to you how crucial it is. Before, people would give each other a hand of fig, a hand of plantain, dasheen, macambu, plantain, and grapefruit or fruits or whatever. It is not as often as before, because everybody trying to survive. It is not as often as before, because I could remember I was getting grapefruit, I was getting all different things from neighbors. But it is not like before. Everybody in their circumstance. You may get, but not as much as before. Everybody is in their circumstance. It is crucial time. And I know people say, St. Lucia is a place where nobody's supposed to be hungry. But people won't just climb or jump over your fence to take your mangoes, to take your green figs, to take your plantains, to take your breadfruit. Look, this storm bread passed, and he threw down 2 of my plants, of my green fig plants. Thank God the other 3 or 4 stood up, and I've got a nice green fig from that tree, nice green fig. And I've gone to the supermarket, because I'm somebody, I'm not a macaroni. I am not a macaroni. I am not a rice person. I'm not a chow mein person. I love my Grand Provision. And I went to the supermarket and I purchased some green fig. And the green fig was, when you cook that inside of that black, it is not good. What is going on? We need better products so that we can purchase. And when I go to my son went downstairs, and then he brought a big hand of green fig for me. And when you cook that, it has no fertilizer, it has nothing in it. When you cook that, it cooks so good. So we may have to start growing what we can, but then again, not everybody can grow, because you cannot grow without having the seeds or the expertise in planting something. Some people don't have green fingers, they have pink fingers. So you have to be very, very, very careful when you say to everybody, just plant, eat what you grow. Not all of us are farmers. It's a very ticklish situation we are in right now. A very ticklish situation. And this is what I want my people to do, because many of our people, I'm seeing on social media, all on here and on radio, television, all our people want to speak about is politics. But right now, St. Lucia is in survival mode. If you didn't know that, or if you were not aware of that, St. Lucia is in survival mode. We have to do everything to survive. Because when I was growing up with my mom, a tank of gas was $20. Now a tank of gas doubled the amount. A tank of gas was almost $50, but right now it stays at $40, $50. Let me tell you, we're living in dread times, and some of y'all need to sit down, leave the political nonsense alone. Right? You can speak of it, but don't invest your life and your time in it, because you should be investing your time and your life into how are you surviving in these harsh economic times. Because if you're waiting for a savior from the government of St. Lucia, they're not your savior. You have to try and find a way to survive. If you can't find a way to survive, you will perish. It is very hard. And this is why I'm saying to you, my sweet people, this is the show to be. I'll encourage you. I'll come and speak reality to you. I will let you know that it is rough. But, I am here to speak to you, to give you ideas as to how to ease the burden. I am here to let you know that we are all in it. I am not here to pretend to you, oh, stop complaining, everything is okay. No, I'm here to tell you, I hear you. I am here to tell you, I feel you. I am here to tell you that we can make it together. We can make it together. Feed your soul. Feed your soul with positive vibes. Even when you may feel you are at rock bottom, feed your soul with positive vibe. Always put God first in everything you do. Because let me tell you, going through this harsh economic time where people can barely sustain themselves to buy groceries or even their medication, it only takes the grace of God. It only takes the grace of God to help you, to guide you. It only takes the grace of God. And if you don't believe in God, start believing in Him now. Because He will take you through all your trials. He is the best friend. The best friend you can ever have. He will take you through all your trials. Let my show be an encouragement to you. Let my show be a comfort to you. Remember, you have a friend in Soso to come here for TV Land. My nickname is Soso. I'm here to let you know that you have a friend that understands and will hear you out. That we are all in this together. There is no Miss Bigger or Miss Little or Miss That. We are all in this together. Listen to my show and allow me to be a comfort to you.